So it's the end of 2015, December 31st as I post this, December 30th as I record it. Yes, I did wait till the last minute, because I'm crazy like that. And I feel I should briefly talk about my plans for 2016. I've recorded this video like 3 times already, and each time it just didn't work out. The first one is irrelevant and needed to be updated anyway. The second was just far too long, and the third it was mostly dead air because I'd forgotten a lot of stuff. So this one's going to be short, and hopefully will detail most of the stuff that I've got planned in my head right now for 2016. First of all, the big one, I'm gonna try anyway to set in a regular schedule. I can't guarantee that the schedule will start at the beginning of the year. It might take a couple weeks to a month to get it going and get everything like set up right. But hopefully there will be a schedule in 2016. Best case, a video every week. Worst case, a video every 2 weeks. So we'll have some pretty regular content. It'll be a little easier considering the format for the Sonic comic videos is changing quite a bit, and I don't need to script those anymore, because if you remember on Twitter I announced that I wasn't going to be doing Sonic comic videos anymore. That's wrong now. I figured out a way I can still do them. Basically, it's a podcast sort of thing. It's not just going to be me, by the way, because when it's just me, I ramble and I sound like a moron. But it's basically just going to be a podcast on on every separate issue that comes out. So like one for Sonic Universe number 82, which will be the first thing I upload in 2016. And then in late January, after the issue comes out, we'll do one on Sonic number 279 and keep going that way. We'll also be talking about older arcs. Again, issue by issue, unless it's a big one like Worlds Collide or Worlds Unite, which probably isn't going to happen until the latter half of the year, but something big like that will cover, multiple issues in a video. Like, we know we're gonna do Worlds Unite at some point in the year, but it'll be like Part 1, Part 2, Part 3, because if you remember, that story was released in parts. Part 1 was Deadly Fusion, and I can't remember what the other parts were. But we'd basically be covering it by the separate trades, because they were released in 3 different trade paperbacks, same with Worlds Collide. So we'll have pretty regular stuff. While the podcast thing is sort of it is sort of its own separate, the main, I'm stumbling over my words here. The main idea of it is to talk about Sonic comics, but because of the general title, it's just called the Mobius Podcast, by the way. Thanks to the general title, it's mainly just Sonic podcast in overall. It's mostly going to be focused on the comics, but well, if there's an interesting enough other Sonic topic, we'll talk about it, because we care about Sonic. But look forward to that in 2016. We recorded one of them last night on an older arc, and I really like how that turned out. We might need to re-record it because of some audio issues, but still the basic idea is there, and I like it. In 2016, the Halo reviews are finally going to be finished. Worst case scenario, early February will bring the Halo Reach review. I wanted to wait for Reach to get in, to be backwards compatible on Xbox One before I started doing the review, because as of Reach, with Reach now, I can record everything on the Xbox One thanks to backwards compatibility and the Master Chief Collection. When they announced backwards compatibility for the Xbox One, everybody knew Halo Reach was going to be there anyway, so I figured I would wait until it happened. And now it is there, so I've already started recording footage for Reach. So that, like I said, worst case scenario will be out early February. All the Halo reviews will be done this year. I still don't really know if I'm going to cover Halo Wars. My initial plan was not to cover Halo Wars because, one, I didn't own it, and I didn't have much to say about it. I own it now, and I feel like if I played it again, I'd have a lot to say. Or at least I'd have enough to say in a video. So, there's that. ODST, in Halo 3 ODST, while we're on Halo, is not going to be getting a review like I had initially planned, because I have nothing to say about ODST. If I tried to review it, it'd probably be like a 1-minute video anyway, so I'll just cover it here. It's a very dull game. That's about it. It's just really, really boring. Really, really boring and uninteresting. That's Halo 3 ODST in a nutshell, if you ask me. I think. I also want to talk about the Scott Pilgrim game in 2016. That's a game I've been wanting to review for a very long time. Like since I started reviews, probably about. Oh god, it's gonna be like 3 years. Since I started regularly doing reviews, probably about 3 years ago now. I think now. I said now a lot. I stumble, like as you can tell, I'm a little nervous and I stumble over my words when it's just me. But that's a game I've been wanting to talk about for a while, so that'll happen. I might talk about the Scott Pilgrim books if I can figure out a way to do it, because compared to the Sonic comic issues I talk about, those are big. Like those are full-on graphic novels, hundreds of pages, whereas what I talk about usually doesn't go past like 30 pages. So I know for sure I'm going to talk about the game, don't know about the novels yet. Probably not going to talk about the movie. So, there's that. And then the last thing I want to mention that I'm going to do in 2016, because there are other things I have planned, but I want to keep some stuff a surprise. The people that watched it, so like the 25 people that watched it so far, seem to have liked the 5 cool ice level themes video I did, which is awesome because I really like doing it. So those are going to continue in 2016. And unlike those are going to be scripted. The five lists, which I still need to come up with some kind of category for, those are going to be scripted, and game reviews are still going to be scripted. The only thing that's not going to be scripted anymore are the comic reviews, because that's a little easier, and there's more to say when I'm thinking off the top of my head, especially when I'm going back and forth with someone. But you can count on more of those. I've already got a few in mind. So those are going to be a regular thing on my channel, hopefully. More regular than top 10s. I still plan to do a couple of, like, top 10 things every now and then, but for the most part it's going to be those, like, a certain amount of these things that are really cool that most people don't talk about. So look forward to those. And that's about all I'm going to talk about when it comes to what I'm planning for 2016. So, with that said, I will see you guys in the new year, which at the time I post this should be fairly soon.